On a sweltering Sydney day, train commuters have been forced to endure travel chaos as industrial action brought the system to a virtual standstill. The government says unions are squeezing the life out of the rail network, making for intolerable conditions. And commuters are being warned to brace for things to get worse tomorrow. State political reporter Nick Dole begins our coverage.
It's hard to know what's more frustrating, waiting for a train that doesn't come or sitting on a train that doesn't move.
We go slowly, right? And then it stops and it goes normal again and then it just stops for 2 hours.
On-time running this morning was achieved by just 20% of services. By the end of the day, cancellations will have reached 1,000. Some commuters say they were stranded for several hours.
Really frustrating because you got people who don't drive and who need to rely on public transport.
They are squeezing the life out of our rail network. In fact, it is the boa constrictor that the unions boast about. Now, it is intolerable.
The Rail, Tram and Bus Union implemented a go-slow on some parts of the network, limiting the speeds of some trains, but the government says most of today's chaos came from another source.
The major impacts today were created by the Electrical Trades Union, and that is as a result of critical maintenance work that wasn't undertaken last night at both Bondi Junction and also at Homebush. That is the root cause of the major delays we've seen today.
At the heart of the dispute, pay and conditions. The government's offering 15% over 4 years, including a super increase. That's less than half the RTBU's demand. But unions say they're also concerned the proposed deal could strip them of some of their rights to speak up on safety.
Removal of this clause, we fear, would lead to worse safety outcomes for people across Sydney.
After months of uncertainty, commuters are beyond weary.
I feel cranky with both sides, really, because I just think it's the people that are suffering.
If this action continues in the coming days, we will see similar levels of impact, and potentially it may get worse on Thursday and again on Friday.
More delays will mean more disruption to people's lives and the wider economy. But the government thinks that damage could help strengthen its case to try to stop this industrial action in the courts.
We, of course, continue to work with and talk with the Fair Work Commission, and we will consider all of our legal avenues, including in the federal court.
They should be in court today, and it is the government's inaction in respect of its union mates which is causing this delay today.
Whatever friendship they had has fast eroded, along with the patience of the public. Nick Dole, ABC News, Sydney.
Well, Nick Dole and Fiona Willan are live for us tonight. First to Fiona at Parramatta Station. How's the evening peak looking?
Well, Nakari, hundreds of people here at Parramatta are still trying to catch the train home, but they could be in for a long journey because there are significant delays and cancellations across the entire suburban network. We've been hearing reports of some trains filled with passengers sitting at platforms for around an hour. Others are running nearly 5 hours late. Now, the government has been urging people to find alternative ways of getting home, but the problem isn't expected to end tonight. It's expected to continue tomorrow and perhaps could be even worse. So the advice is to find a plan B in the morning. Nakari?
And so, Nick, where does all this leave negotiations between the government and unions?
Well, they're at a standstill, really, Nakari. The government has given unions until tomorrow to give an indication as to whether the current pay offer is one that they're happy to put to members. And the RTBU's already said it doesn't think its members would vote for the deal. So the government now has a difficult decision as to whether or not it actually pursues a vote if it is indeed doomed to fail. So there's some of the things the government is considering. But another thing we've heard is that legal action could be on the table. That only appears to have strengthened the union's resolve, so there's really no prospect of those work bans being lifted voluntarily in the next few days, and that certainly will mean more frustration for commuters.
Nick Dole and Fiona Willan, thank you.